I'm Johnny B, and welcome to MISD Sports Talk as we head down the home stretch of the year and we take a look at track and field, and we now take a look at the McKinney North Bulldogs, joined by head coaches Jessica Richards and Melvin Crosby. And coaches, kind of just want to lead in with the same question is, as you started this year, what your expectations were on both the girls and boys side, and what you thought you accomplished.
I felt like on the girls' side, our expectations were to win district again. That was kind of a big one, to see if we could go back-to-back district champs. And then a big goal that we set forth was to win the area meet as well. And the girls did both of those things. So I felt like as far as team goals go, that they did a very good job of fulfilling them. We were able to get 11 girls to the regional meet, and then we placed 4th overall as a team to the regional meet. And then had a bunch of them down in Austin as well. So I felt like they kind of even exceeded our expectations further down the line.
How about you, Coach Crosby?
It was because this group was the nucleus that we had last year. The expectations were extremely high, not just for myself, but for them, being that they've been there before. And so, kind of like Coach Richards, every year our expectations are we're going to go and we're going to be competing for a district title, and we were able to go and accomplish that goal, and then to get as many as we were able to get out to regionals, as well as to the state meet. I felt like that we fulfilled, and much like Coach Richard said, piggybacking off of her, we exceeded those goals as well. So it was a great year, great season, and one that we were expecting from ourselves, as well as our athletes, to go out and to do as well as we were able to do.
When you came in, having had that prior success, do you feel like internally that bar was already raised?
Yeah, particularly with the mile relay group, the girls' mile relay group. We returned everyone on the relay from the year before but one, and we were able to have a freshman that really stepped into that role. And they last year they went down there, and I mean they competed very well, were able to walk away with third place, but you could kind of tell that wasn't good enough. And they were very just calm, like it was just a different atmosphere from them going into the state meet. And then they were ready to perform, and ready to kind of show, I guess, prove to people like we're supposed to be down here, we're supposed to be running with the Lancasters and things like that. So I thought they did a really good job of that.
Coach Crosby, a lot of your track guys play football, and you are a football coach, and you know all about that. I want to go back to the Lovejoy game because Anthony Grogan gets a big pick six in that game, and he takes off, and there was a player about to chase him, and I turned to somebody and said, if that player catches Grogan, there's going to be every D1 track coach in the world. You had Ballas and Grogan on that football group. Talk about the relay and talk about the parts that those two seniors played for you.
Oh, they played a very critical, very major role. Unfortunately, Bryce was hampered a little bit during the course of the season because of a hamstring injury early on. But we had Ronald. Ronald was also one of the young men that was a part of those different relays that we were able to get together. So anytime you got that caliber athlete that's not just being able to do the things they're able to do on the football field, but the track speed to be able to get out there as well as and to do it on the track is it's pretty. It makes for a fun season, I can tell you that. But if anybody can catch Grogan in that kind of instance, he's well deserving of getting some looks. But yeah, so those guys, they help us through, and they just bring a different flavor as far as the mentality and the mindset, because they're used to working hard anyway. But the leadership aspect that those seniors brought this year really aided in us being able to, I believe, to go and accomplish a lot of what we're able to accomplish, not just them individually and their individual events, but on those relays as well.
For coaches, what's the challenge, if there is, when you get to that state? That's everything you shoot for. The atmosphere is there. What's the job for you, and how challenging is it to let them enjoy the time but keep them focused on the event of what they're going to do?
It's actually pretty challenging. I mean, it's just, you want them to be excited about it, but at the same time, it's not just icing on the cake, which, a lot of people use that term because they are talented and that we know that they can do it, is keep pushing them while staying focused and enjoying the moment all at the same time. And, the big thing I told the girls is we want to finish with a PR, whether that be first place, whether that be a medal, whether that be ninth place. We want to finish the end of the season with the best run that we could possibly have. And they did that this year. And so that's kind of, once I kind of approached it that way, the girls were really, they were happy with their 5th place finish in the 4x1 and their 2nd place in the 4x4. And so it was, I guess, a little bit different mindset, being as they had been down there last year. They were a little bit more calm this year. They knew what was expected. They weren't near as nervous and things like that. So I guess the more trips you take, the easier it gets a little bit on them. So.
Coach Crosby, you have a little bit of that on the football side with renewing the Crosstown Showdown this year. I mean, the town's buzzing, everybody's talking about it. So you had some football players that knew about, hey, let's enjoy the moment, but we came to do something. Does that carry over to states too, that same kind of discipline that Coach Richards talked about?
Oh, definitely. I believe that a lot of the poise in which they're able to carry into that atmosphere is, it relates, it coincides together. And so with what they were able to kind of bring from being there before, it helps with some of the younger athletes. We were fortunate to have one that went down there that he went with us last year, but he wasn't able to compete in that environment. So it helps to have those guys that have been there, that have done that, and to help bring them along as well. I mean, and that's what you want. Those are the kind of legacies that you want your athletes to leave. Is it needs to be better because you were there, but then you also need to pass on that torch so that whenever the next group comes along, that their expectations don't change and the poise is still the same and all those different things. You should not just only want to get down there, but you should know how to react whenever you're in that environment as well.
One of the biggest challenges, obviously, is you graduate some great senior leadership as you head into next year. So as you head to next year and looking to next year's season, what's the nucleus coming back, and what do you think where your team stands just at this point of going into next year?
We graduate 9 girls, and there's some leadership there that we're gonna greatly miss. But I do feel like we return a pretty young group. Our team's a little bit different than the boys' side. A lot of the girls that are on the varsity squad are freshmen and sophomores with a few juniors sprinkled in there. So we've had that big core group there for several years, and that expectation, like he said, is, even if they're graduating, moving on, the expectation is trickled down all the way to the freshman group to where it's the same. It's still the same every year, and they do a very good job of, okay, so-and-so is gone, so now I need to step up. And there's not a big gap in between. And so there will be some that are very missed, but I feel like our team has done a pretty good job of fulfilling the roles that they need to fulfill.
How about on your side, Coach Crosby?
Oh, yeah, because we graduated a tremendous amount of seniors, and not just with the seniors, but the leadership that they brought, the work ethic they brought day in and day out. But that's the beauty of, like, Coach Richards and I working together, is that we're able to kind of monitor and keep an eye on how the overall team atmosphere is going. And I believe that what those guys did, what the Grogans and the Joneses and the Ballases and the Coopers, all those guys, Dabowski, those young men did, is they brought a mentality and a mindset to track and field on a day-to-day basis that, guys, this is our expectation. And what we go and do, it didn't just happen by happenstance. It happens because we work at it and we have the mindset and we build off of each other. Because I like to point out, just as much as track is individualized, a lot has to do with the work ethic and what they do in practice. That's where a lot of our goals are met and things like that carry over into the events that we're able to go compete in, is because it's done in practice. And I think because of the young men that we had and the young women that we have, that funnels down, it trickles down to the next group. And it's just, you're up next. That's all it is. It's not that we're going to throw a pity party because they're not here, but it's, you're up next. So
the bar's been raised.
Yes,
Coaches, congratulations on a great season, and we look forward to talking to you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the latest from track and field from McKinney North here on McKinney ISD Sports Talk.